offseason where the dynasty just keeps going and going and going. So last episode talked about my dynasty domain league and how I kind of followed the blueprint and how I accomplished what I wanted to do. That draft's currently still going. And then hoes in different area codes was League 100. Couldn't resist had to get in the hoes in different area codes too, which was an auction draft. A lot of the same guys from the first auction, but the name just fit. So I was going to take a break off 100, but the name just fit and I had to keep it going. Ended up in another league here, not drafted yet, still sitting in the lobby, but one of my boys was trying to do one of my hometown boys trying to do an IDP Dynasty League, and it's one of the homies, man. How can you not resist? But mainly, been telling you guys, preaching to you guys of my strategy this year, RB heavy. Lately, the teams I've been making have, I've been firing 4 RBs right off the bat. But I also wanted to say, my way is not the only way to draft. I mean, obviously, you guys should know that. But last year, drafted super wide receiver heavy. So those teams still can be good. But how I wanted to draft this year was the RB heavy. But let me just show you one of these teams here where I did go wide receiver crazy. Shit show Sunday, one of the leagues. Pre-draft, that's not right. We'll go here. So this is how I drafted last year. Right off the bat, 4 straight wide receivers. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas ended up having a bad year. Drake had a good year but got hurt. Rome was hurt. Cam Ward had a terrible year last year. Did get Jackson Darton to start up. Chris Olave, Justin Fields last year was a starter. Montgomery, see, look at this. So I'm like going running back heavy, wide receiver heavy, but then getting running backs later in the draft. Obviously, David Montgomery looks better this year. Etienne had a good year now for the Saints. Scat, Swift, so not a bad draft. Going wide receiver heavy. So going running back heavy is not the only way to draft. That's just what I'm doing this year because I felt like that is actually creates better teams for me personally. But last year, this team, wide receiver heavy team, and one thing, my wide receiver heavy teams didn't have the greatest year last year. Some of my best teams were where I was went into the draft and all right, you don't got to be wide receiver heavy. Let's be a little different. And I was taking running backs, and some of those teams were my best teams. But this team particularly, we finished at the, right on the cusp of the playoffs, pretty much tied, but points scored wasn't high enough to get in there. And then we actually just had the rookie draft. So yeah, end of the year with the 105, the 108, that might not be correct because I don't know why it's like that, but we'll go back to the current season and we just had the rookie draft. That's definitely not it. So it'll be this top one here. Come on, sleeper, don't lag on me. So yeah, just had the rookie draft and actually was the 102. So I took Carnell Tate right here. And also was the 104. So I had someone else's pick from last year, probably traded with player away for their first. It ended up being the 102. So I took Carnell Tate, Mendoza at the 104. Took falling Antonio Williams at the 2-4. Went with my boy Zachariah Branch, ATL. Eli Raritan fell all the way down to the mid-third. Got Justin Jolly in the 4th. Took a shot at Matt Hibner in the 5th. So, I had a pretty good rookie draft. Guess I had a lot more picks than I was naming off. I know I got everybody. Oh, and Katron Allen as well. So, man, I got a lot of rookies here. So, with my wide receiver heavy team from last year and those players that I drafted, this year's team ain't bad. Jackson Dart, Etienne, and Saints now, Scat, Drake London, Malik Neighbors. Hopefully he can get back out there. Strange, Olave, Rome, Dave Montgomery, Cam Ward. So I got a pretty good team going. Mendoza, D Swift, Brian Thomas, Carnell Tate, my rookies, Rondé Gadsden on the bench. So this team, this wide receiver drafted team from last year, it's coming into their own this year. So we'll see how they do, see how they finish. But that was last year I drafted. This year, RB heavy focus. So let's take a peek real quick at holes in different area codes too and how the draft went. I wanted to record this one live, but didn't work out. So these auctions is a 200 budget, 10-second nomination, 10-second bid. If you guys remember Bob from Nixon 6 auction, I told you he likes to go heavy. He went Josh Allen, Puka, JSN, McBride, Bowers. That's a tight end premium, full 1.6 point passing TD. I think there's even a couple of bonuses: passing first down, 0.25, rushing first down, 0.5, receiving first down, 0.25, tight end premium, 1 full point. But I already know I'm a draft. I'm going running back heavy. I stand by it this year. So this was actually, there's a lot of teams I liked in this draft. Obviously, Bob, he likes to go heavy and then fill in. You got some good prices on some players there. Let's check out me, game tight right here in the middle. So I started off McCaffrey. McCaffrey went pretty early in the auction, so getting him at $17, took it. Bijan went early too, so usually in this auction it's like I'm gonna get Bijan, so I'll just keep bidding with you. So I got Bijan there. Amari and Hampton here, and I made sure of it that James Cook is not getting away from me this draft. Back-to-back drafts. In the first auction the other day, I was bidding, clicking, and my bid didn't go through. I didn't bother going in the chat saying, Sleeper was glitching on me. And then in League 99, the Dynasty Domain live draft, he went one pick in front of me, where I traded up from the 309 to the 304, knowing that Jonathan Taylor and Cook would be in that range. And I got twice. So I made sure if I'm going to record something, I'm going to say, hey, James Cook's part of the squad. So I got James Cook there. I took Rashee Rice. I was bargain shopping for a while. And then Malik Willis came up, got him for $11. Great price there. Look at all the other QB prices here. Cam Ward 16, Jared Goff 13. So getting Malik a starter at 11 is pretty good. And I think Malik's gonna have a good year, even if he has to run a lot. Because in this league, you get the rushing first down. If he's throwing, he's getting bonus points there as well. So then usually in these drafts, I like to get one of the vet tight ends. So Mark Andrews is usually one of my targets. Dallas Goedert's usually one of my targets, but they went so early in this auction that, I like to bid on them when it's later in the time so I can get them for pretty cheap. But they still went cheap here, but I couldn't just spend my money there. Goddard went super early. I guess I could have went there. Was trying to get QBs, but Ivan All-Stars over here, he had a good draft as well. He started off with Hurts and Dart, but then he got the RBs, Taylor discount 22, Barkley 18, Walker 18, Chase Brown. I love that roster. That's kind of like how I'm building this year. He even was able to fill in with cheap receivers, Alec Pierce, Mike Evans. So he had money to spend. So he did a really good job here. Terry McLaurin, Jaden Reed. So shout out to Ivan there. I thought he had a real good draft because he started with the QBs and then kind of filled in the RBs while people like me were spinning up for the RBs. But I like all these running backs this year: Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Barkley. But I want to get my guys too, Bijan. So I had trouble getting a quarterback. So I ended up getting Jacoby Brissett here for $4 later in the draft. But then I also spent a little extra to get Carson back. So having those two guys there, whether one start or not, and basically one QB and both there. Yeah, I was bargain shopping, but then Reishi was there. I had to get him for 17 because I mean, without the offseason stuff, and if he played a full year last year, he'd be up here with the, you know, 25 and up. So I took that, and I really should have been patient and bargain shopped, but Drake went so late in the auction where I was like, he was sitting there for 23. I was like, I gotta click it. I just clicked it and ended up getting it for $24. So I mean, getting Drake at 24, just sign a contract. In the startups, he goes around that 1-2 turn, mid second, early second. So his price should actually be up there with CeeDee Lamb and, you know, right behind CeeDee Lamb and Amon Ra, or, you know, so getting him at 24, a little bit of a discount there. Ended up getting Christian Watson here with $8, so kind of filled out the starting team there. Had trouble getting a tight end. I was trying to be sneaky, firing off tight ends, but I ended up still being able to fill the spot. K. Dotton for $1, Michael Mayer for $1, Hunter Henry for $1, getting vets who score points. But then a clutch pick was getting Kelsey for $3. So he's probably going to be the starter here. Jalen McMillan, Zachariah Branch, Will Howard kind of filled in the team as we went there. And then, so cool thing about auction is you don't really spend your draft picks. So then draft gets over, you still have your draft picks. I knew my team would be good in projections, having 4 pretty stud RBs, and having Malik Willis and Jacoby Brissett and Carson Beck kind of holding it down. I know as soon as he drafts in, people look at their teams and they kind of decide, are they going for it this year? Or are they like, there's some stronger teams. What kind of sell players? And some people in the draft take a ton of QBs to try to sell them. So what I did actually after the draft here, oh, it's right there. I traded a 27 first and a 27 third for Kyler Murray. What did I say? Scared money don't make money. So I'm running it back with the Minnesota Vikings quarterback. JJ McCarthy did me dirty last year. I had so many startups where I trusted Michael Penix and JJ McCarthy as being like the guys who were going to take the next step. One, Michael Penix. So it's a double burn because I'm a Falcons fan. And then checking JJ McCarthy, boy, killed a lot of my teams there. But yeah, I made that trade for Kyler Murray. I'm running it back. Kyler Murray, Kevin O'Connell. So now the team looks like Malik Willis, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan, Drake London, Rashee Rice, Christian Watson, Kelsey, James Cook, Omar Hampton. It's only start 10, I think. So starters become more important when it's not so many starters compared to my other drafts. Only start 10, so starters are more important. I know projections ain't everything, though. But your boy Game Time's up there with the 190. Next closest is 184. I'm telling you, the RB focused teams, I'm loving the way that they're looking, the way they're built. Instead of going high-end wide receivers, high-end RBs. They're not a bunch. I'm telling you, receivers go pretty deep, man. Even getting Josh Downs way late. Like, there's like Josh Downs or Woody Marks. So going heavy with the RBs this year. Once again, projection and everything. But all these teams, all these green beams, RB focused. I mean, obviously some went RB focused, ended up different type of teams, but RB focused all the way down to no offseason 2. Look at all these greens. Man, 102 teams. Crazy. So no offseason 2 was my last team last year. You seen all the green beans up top. Let's look at all these wide receiver focused teams now. Green beans still, but a lot of red beans. And some of these teams were the teams that ended up getting Bijan and Gibbs or RB focused last year. But yeah, man. Crazy. So we'll see if the strategy works, man. I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna record it all. Week 1, week 2, week 3, playoffs, championships, the goods, the bads, and then I'll recap and see how we're gonna go into year 3. Hopefully, not getting any new teams, but there'll probably be a new team. I mean, it's only June 13th, and my goal was getting to 100. And I'm already at 102 with this Christmas 365 IDP loaded. And I also got this no off season 3 that I created but haven't filled yet. Just kind of sitting there. So if you guys end up seeing this episode by the time it's there, I'm gonna send invites out there. But it usually fills up with the sleeper degenerates. But that's all right. But yeah, man, RB focused this year. Let's see how many leagues I can win. Hopefully no heartbreaks, but every year it's fantasy heartbreaks. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in whenever you guys start watching. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm Hutch. This is No Off Season. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.